Holy smokes, toy fans, D21 Beast Rob here. I went shopping this morning at Target, and wouldn't you know it, the entire wave of 2017 X-Men Legends was there for the picking. I've got every figure in the set, and I'm starting things off with Sunfire, an X-Men that is long overdue for a Marvel Legends action figure. And no, I don't count that Toy Fair exclusive that came out a few years ago that was the Age of Apocalypse version of Sunfire. I'm talking classic Sunfire. One-time foe and part-time friend of the X-Men, and lately even an Uncanny Avenger. As you can see, the packaging for this figure is much like we saw with last year's X-Men wave. We've got the Marvel Legends logo at the top, as well as a window box that does house the figure inside, as well as this Build-A-Figure piece. Towards the bottom we've got the X-Men logo, and finally the figure's name. Flipping this package around reveals a nice glamour shot of the figure inside. There's a bio for Sunfire in the upper right. Then towards the bottom we've got a complete lineup of all the figures available in this Warlock Build-A-Figure wave of X-Men figures. Alright toy fans, well that's the packaging. Let's get Shiro Yoshida out of the box and see what he's all about. And here he is out of the packaging, toy fans. We've got Sunfire. First appearing as a villain in Uncanny X-Men number 64 from 1970, Sunfire was created by legendary comic book writer Roy Thomas and artist Don Heck. But while Sunfire did have villainous beginnings, he eventually joined the X-Men in the landmark issue Giant Size X-Men number 1. But for more about that comic, be sure to check out my Giant Size X-Men Mini-Mate review from last year. Sunfire is actually a really nicely executed figure. The white paint apps on his torso are crisp and bold, and I don't see a lot of red bleeding through. The forearms and legs for this figure feature gold paint flame-style decals consistent with how he looked in the comics. And the head sculpt for this figure. An admittedly weird-looking mask design, Hasbro has nailed the curves and contours I'm used to seeing on the comic book page, and has even provided a nice bit of paint detail. I especially appreciate how the flesh tone portion of the head sculpt is actually a separate piece of plastic that's been glued on to the red molded mask for this figure. Sunfire also comes with the torso Build-A-Figure piece for the Warlock Build-A-Figure from this wave, and we'll look at that more in detail as I have that figure fully assembled, as well as including the exact same flame attachments we saw with last year's Iron Fist from the Doctor Strange wave. Both of these flame effects fit comfortably over Sunfire's hands and are easily removable. Lastly, while not technically a separate accessory, Sunfire also has a belt piece around his waist. It's a free-moving piece of plastic, but it doesn't hinder articulation in the waist at all. Sunfire is actually being released on a newer mid-size body mold, and this is my first experience with this particular mold. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation together. He's got a ball-jointed head that is on a disc hinge, so it can look down that far and back that far. It does rotate all the way around. He's got a shoulder joint that rotates all the way around, and a butterfly joint that on my figure is a bit stuck. It'll bend in nicely, but it doesn't go back all the way on this side, the same as it does on the other side. And as you can see here, his arm can get pretty far back, but unfortunately I just can't do it the same on this side. Although I don't know that that's entirely anatomically correct, so I'm not too worried about it. He does have bicep swivel, he's got a double jointed elbow, full rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge in the wrist, waist rotation, ab crunch, and then he's got legs that'll move forward that far, back only to about standing position, maybe a little bit past, thigh rotation, double jointed knees, and then a foot that'll move forward that far, down that far, and he's got that Hasbro ankle pivot. So really, basically the same articulation you're used to from the Bucky Cap mold, with butterfly joints thrown in on the shoulders. Not too shabby. And just for some size comparison, here we have this brand new Sunfire body mold compared to the other modern Hasbro Marvel Legends male molds. Now I do notice that the torso for Sunfire is a bit wider, I suppose, especially in the waist, compared to the Bucky Cap mold. But if you turn these guys sideways, it looks like the actual profile for the bodies makes the Bucky Cap mold just a little bit thicker. So it may be better to say that Sunfire's new body mold sits somewhere between Pizza Spider-Man and Bucky Cap. Height-wise, Sunfire does stand just a little bit over 6 1/4 inches tall. And for some size comparison, here he is compared to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine.
Finally! Welcome to the team, Bob.
Only speak when spoken to, Gaijin.
And nothing's changed.
Alright toy fans, well that's my review of the Marvel Legends Sunfire figure, part of the Warlock Build-A-Figure wave released by Hasbro in 2017. Overall, this is a really great and long-awaited Marvel Legends figure. I'm going to assume the butterfly joint issue I've got on my figure is just a one-off and the rest of you guys should be fine. So definitely pick this figure up. And thanks for watching this review. I'm saving Old Man Logan for Friday, but let me know in the comments below. Who would you like to see me review next from this wave? You guys can always keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.